Hey, everybody. Today, I'm asking if you like the show, would you head over to iTunes and leave a review? Just go to coolcatteacher.com/iTunes, and it will take you to the show on iTunes. And you can give it stars, or even better, if you leave a rating. It really does make a difference, and it helps other teachers find the show. Thanks. The next 2 weeks are an exciting pair of Motivational Mondays, focusing on a mentoring relationship between Stephanie Goldman and Lindsay George. Now, this ACE mentoring relationship, as Stephanie calls it, is really centered around technology with Google Drive and Google Classroom, but also about a very powerful relationship. I know there's been a lot of conversation about having effective induction teacher mentoring relationships, and I think this is one we can all spotlight and discuss as we try to help first-year teachers really have a powerful, exciting, and positive experience when they start teaching. Enjoy. Episode 316, ACE Mentor Relationship Building with Google Drive and Google Classroom.
The 10-Minute Teacher Podcast with Vicki Davis. Every weekday, you'll learn powerful, practical ways to be a more remarkable teacher today.
Today we're talking with Stephanie Goldman, fourth grade language arts teacher here in Georgia, just a little bit above Augusta, Georgia. We're going to talk about mentoring teachers with their use of technology, the ACE Mentorship Program. Now, Stephanie, what is the ACE Mentorship Program?
Well, it's just an acronym that I actually came up with recently. The A stands for access, the C stands for collaborate, and the E stands for experiment. And it's just something that has popped into my brain recently as I am mentoring a co-teacher in fourth grade. It's her first year. She just graduated last year. We are a Google school pushing one-to-one devices and integrated technology, meaningful technology. I just think that technology is a great way to improve the mentor induction teacher relationship for many reasons. And I think the biggest is probably the E for experiment. I just have a passion for induction teachers and pre-service teachers, and I've kind of always been an open book for them. And I think technology has just really improved that relationship, the collaboration between the two.
Let's talk through the three pieces of this and kind of how it looks in this mentorship relationship. So access.
Okay, so access, like I said, I'm an open book. Give them access to your resources. I've only been in the classroom, I say only because it's gone quickly, for 12 years. And I know that when I had my mentor induction relationship, I feel like I would always go and ask them. And at the beginning of the year, they would give you all the resources. And then I kind of felt like an annoyance. I know that she didn't think I was annoying, but I just felt that way. And when we feel that way, I think sometimes we kind of shy away from asking what we need. Now that everything is digital, it's in the cloud in Google Drive, I've kind of given my induction teacher access to everything and all my resources. It's mostly organized, but the search feature in Google Drive is excellent. If she's looking for something for reading comprehension or inferences, she can just type that in to the search and come up with a lot of resources.
So you are literally giving her access to all of your digital files. You just say, yes. I give you complete access to the digital files and to me to come ask me about any of it.
Yes, access to that so that she can get it on the computer. When we're at school, she has access to it. When she's at home, I think that's one of the benefits of Google Drive. You don't know what you need it until right when you need it. She can go home on her Chromebook and she can search for something. And I know not everybody is as comfortable as I am with sharing everything. So if you wanted to just do shared folders or a team drive where you retain ownership, you can change the permissions so that nobody can delete anything. All of your stuff is safe, but they still have access. So that's the great thing about Google Drive is that there's a lot of different opportunities. Yeah,
and you can do read only and they can just make a copy. There's so many ways. Yes. Okay, so yes. C for collaborate.
Well, we're lucky that she is on the same grade level as I am, so we can have the in-person debrief. We have collaborative planning during planning time, but the biggest thing is we do our lesson plans in Team Drive, and it just starts as a basic Google Doc, and you can make it, we have a lot of freedom to choose what kind of format, so we have just a basic basic table with every day and the different subjects planned out. And going back to the access, I remember when I was first teaching with technology and you would need a website, I would have to email the website to my co-teacher, and then she would have to open it. In the Google Doc, the lesson plan, we actually put the links in the lesson plan. So like if we're watching a video, we link the video in that lesson plan, and then all you have to do is open up that lesson plan for the day, and all your links are ready there for you. All of our shared stuff is ready there. So she doesn't have to come over and say, oh, can you remember to email me this? Or it's literally all there. And this is also great. We have once a week, we have a designated planning time that we plan for the next week, and we can kind of map out where the week's going and what she's assigned to. We are kind of obsessed with the commenting feature in Google Docs, where I can tag her in a specific thing. I can assign her a specific assignment. I can assign myself assignments. I'm a big inbox zero person. So as soon as I assign myself a comment and I tag myself as, that's the assignment that I've given a task, it pops up into my email so that when I get it done, I want to delete that email. And the same for her. So there's no confusion about who was expected to do what in the collaborative planning.
And that's important. You just type plus and you start typing their name, or you type in their email in the comment, and it will have a little checkbox and it will say, assign this to Stephanie Golden, and you'll check it. And then boom, she gets an email, and there you go. And it just prevents so much confusion, doesn't it?
Yeah. It does. And both of us were very similar in the fact that we love to check that thing off. We don't want it hanging over our head. And like you said, there's no confusion about who's expected to do what in the delegation.
That's awesome. Okay. So you've given access, which is just so empowering and awesome. You're collaborating. You're actually using the tools that you're going to be teaching with. Imagine that.
Yes.
and then this whole idea of experimenting. Now, experimenting might scare some people. What do you mean by that?
Well, technology is so ever changing, and I am not afraid to make mistakes in front of my students. And I'm also not afraid to make mistakes in front of my induction teacher or with my induction teacher. And that meaning with previous less technological mentor induction relationships, I feel like the mentor had so much classroom experience that sometimes they would always have lessons that would be successful. And you would plan something and it would go well for the mentor teacher, but then the induction teacher kind of had a fail moment. And then there was kind of a disconnect between, as mentor, how do I help the induction teacher learn from that and kind of make that process visible, to where now when I try a new technology tool and it doesn't work, that would be similar to her trying an instructional strategy, technological or not, and having a fail. And, first attempt in learning, not a fail, but me going through that process and being transparent with her. Okay, this tool didn't work. Maybe it was my delivery of instruction or something. And I can think through that and reflect on my experience with her. And I think that's really helped when she introduces a new technology tool or a lesson didn't go well.
So basically, you are intentionally experimenting with something new, and you are authentically reflecting with her on what went right and what went wrong, and you are letting her see you struggle.
Yes, exactly. And I think that is something that we as mentor teachers don't do enough of, because we've just become so comfortable in our lessons and our subject matter and things like that, that the introduction of all this new technology is a great opportunity to show that process.
I think that they used to say, never let them see you sweat, but I think it's okay. And I'm even, transparent and open with my students. I will say, we'll have something just go completely wrong, and I'll go, guys, this was a face plant. This was terrible. Let's take a different approach, or give me some feedback so we can do better next time. I think that transparency just shows our human side. I mean, who wants to work with somebody who's arrogant and pretends like they do everything right? Because nobody does everything right.
Right. Exactly. And showing that to her and my student and our students, it just helps them in so many different ways.
I love this, Stephanie. So this is the ACE mentorship approach for building that mentor relationship as you're helping a new teacher join in. I would love at some point, and maybe you can put me in touch with her, to interview the other end of this mentoring relationship. But can you give us a peek into how she's feeling about this?
She loves it. She wasn't really a self-professed technology geek like I am, but over the year, we've kind of had a lot of experiences together. We are co-teachers in each other's Google Classrooms, so the students get a double benefit of having two teachers with posting and commenting on their work and things like that. We've done a lot of co-teaching classes together where mostly writing, where the students, like I said, we're in the Google Classroom together. So when they turn in their writing or while they're working on it, we both can get a chance to comment on it and actually do face-to-face conferences with that technology. I've even, before she even came to the school last spring, there was a call for proposals at the Georgia Council for Social Studies with an emphasis on technology. And I said, hey, do you want to present? And she's like, well, yeah, I guess, And we've actually presented at 2 conferences this year. She's actually become Google Certified Educator Level 1 this year. So she's definitely integrating all that technology. The students love it. The digital natives love to have that immediate feedback. And I think that she's had a pretty successful year. It's been my favorite mentor induction relationship so far, just because she has access to anything. And I feel like that's just, I'm an open book, so she can get what she needs.
Teachers, we know that we have to do better at bringing people into the profession.
Yeah.
And I think that being in open book, giving open resources, co-teaching in Google Classrooms, I think this is a fantastic model for what it can be and how we can learn from one another. And Stephanie, I'm just so encouraged and I appreciate you sharing your ACE mentoring approach with us. And remarkable teachers, if you try this out, would you please tweet me? And you may already have something like this going. I would love to know more about successful mentoring approaches when you're inducting new teachers into the profession. This is fantastic. And thanks, Stephanie.
Thank you so much for having me.
As I said before the show started, it really does help if you leave a review. So if you go to coolcatteacher.com/iTunes and leave a review, I really do appreciate it. And I also appreciate it when you tell your friends. One tip, a lot of people don't know that if you go to the show notes for any of these episodes, so today is episode 254. So you would go to coolcatteacher.com/E254. And you can go to the show notes. But if you look at the little player that I've embedded, there are 2 little brackets. And if you click that, you can actually embed any show you want on your own blog, your own website. You can share the links to those and just share it far and wide. You can even download a copy of the show if you want to send it to others. So I've put it out there for you, and I hope it's useful.
Thank you for listening to the 10-Minute Teacher Podcast. You can download the show notes and see the archive at coolcatteacher.com/podcast. Never stop learning.